Will you be prepared when the power goes out? Let me paint the scenario for you. You're sitting at home in your warm house enjoying your favorite television show. The kids are in the next room playing video games, and your family is enjoying all the creature comforts of a modern lifestyle. When all of a sudden, you hear a loud bang from outside. Before you have time to react, the power goes out. So, I'll ask again, will you be prepared? In this video, we are going to cover the basic short-term power outage and how to manage your free time, your entertainment, and most importantly, you and your family's safety. And it's not always easy in today's age to cope without modern amenities, especially when we have become so reliant on electronic stimulation for activity and entertainment. I mean, what possibly could there be to do when you lose power, or even worse, access to the internet? Well, that's when it's a good idea to have a blackout box at home ready to go, stocked with all the things to help get you through a short-term power outage. Now, there are many types of power outages, grid down situations, or SHTF scenarios that we all should be prepared for, especially if you have kids at home. And it's always good practice, and really should go without saying, that you should have food, water, and first aid readily available for any situation you may encounter. So I'm gonna leave those items out of this conversation and assume that you kinda got those needs already covered. What I'm talking about is some more basic items to help get you and your family through a period of time without all of life's creature comforts. I mean, it may not be necessary to have all the items that I talk about here, but it could give you a good idea of at least a starting point of what to consider when you're building your blackout box. If you find any of these items useful, I'll leave affiliate links down in the video description, and I may or may not get a wee bit commission for it. Okay, first up is lighting. And for me, lighting is one of the most important topics I'd like to address first. And while, yeah, there could be a 50-50 shot you lose power when it's not dark outside, it's still a good idea to have some type of lighting on hand in the event you need it. Now, I really love these lights. These lanterns are great. They're fairly inexpensive, and they're pretty bright. The kids love them. It kind of gives them that camping-like feel that kids like when they're out and about. You also can't go wrong with some glow sticks. Glow sticks are another great thing to have on hand. These here, they last 12 hours. It helps create a less scary situation for those little ones, kind of keeps them in check. As for these lanterns, they run on 3 AA batteries each. Just in case you need them, you should probably store some extra batteries in your blackout box. And I like to keep all the batteries in these little containers. It kind of preserves the battery life and prevents any corrosion that may happen from leaving batteries inside electronic devices. You definitely don't want that. You want them to work when you need them. Our second category is dedicated to communications. It's a good idea to have different types of communication methods on hand. And sure, you could use your cell phone. I mean, we all have those. But what if the network is down, or the lines are jammed, or your battery is just dead? You forgot to charge your phone and you left it out on the nightstand, I don't know. You're going to want to have some alternative methods to receiving and delivering information to and from others. And there are a couple different types of simple communications tools here to talk about. The first would be a crank radio with weather band. It's extremely important to keep in your blackout box. This type of radio can generate its own power, whether it's via the crank or the solar panels on the back. You can listen to your local radio stations that may have generator backup for information, or even for music just to pass the time. You can also monitor the weather band, NOAA, the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. You can stay up to date with your local weather conditions if your power outage is storm related. Second would be some type of two-way radio communications, whether that be CB radio, ham radio, or even the widely popular GMRS radios. Now, ham radios and GMRS radios do require a license to operate. However, it is extremely easy to get a GMRS license. All you have to do is apply for the license on the FCC website, pay a small fee, and then you're done. I'll leave a link in the description below on how to do that. Notarubicon on YouTube has a pretty good step-by-step process you can follow. Now, in my area, I have a bunch of family, and I want to make sure that all of our family has these GMRS radios on hand for emergencies. That way we can all communicate on a designated channel in an event of an emergency, power outage, or even just for fun. The kids like to communicate. I also like to program the radio with my local area repeaters. And repeaters are stations usually located on the top of mountains that receive transmissions from you, then rebroadcast that out to a further area over the mountain's valley. And if there is ever a need for emergency communications, the chances are greater that you'll be able to communicate with someone. GMRS alone is probably a topic that could be addressed in its own video. And if you want to know more about GMRS radios, leave a comment down below. So lastly, we've come to entertainment. And as I mentioned in the opening, it's not always easy to cope without modern amenities when we become so reliant on electronic stimulation for a wide variety of activities and entertainment. So you may be asking yourself, well, what do you do to entertain yourself or your family when the power is out? Well, having a slew of easy entertainment items in your Blackout box is key. Whether it's coloring books, activity books, drawing pads, a variety of colored and regular pencils, erasers, pens, these are all great at keeping young creative minds active. I mean, who are we kidding? Even us older minds could benefit from simple non-electronic stimulation. I also like to keep card games and dice just for those simple pleasures. Now this game right here, this is a family favorite, Taco Cat Goat Cheese Pizza. It's one that we play all the time, and it will definitely pass the time during a blackout for almost anyone. And I would highly recommend this game, even if it's just for family game night and not in your Blackout box. You're gonna wanna pick this one up. So I wanna know, what would you put in your Blackout box? Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear your suggestions. And don't forget to share this video with your friends if you found it useful, and we'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that may be.